Two pirate skiffs thought they'd found an easy cargo ship. Instead, they charged straight at a U.S. nuclear-powered aircraft carrier and learned in seconds why that's the worst mistake you can make at sea. A miscalculation on the high seas. In the dead of night on the waters of the Gulf of Aden, a pair of Somali pirate skiffs tore across the waves with engines screaming, convinced they were about to score the jackpot. Their target loomed on the horizon, an enormous, unlit silhouette that looked like an unescorted cargo vessel. To pirate logic, this was easy prey, big, slow, and likely packed with goods that could be ransomed or sold. But within moments, they learned the cost of a fatal miscalculation. That massive shadow wasn't a merchant ship, it was one of the most powerful machines of war ever built, a U.S. Navy nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. The pirates brought AK-47s and RPGs to what they thought was a robbery. What they actually stumbled upon was a floating fortress armed with radar-guided missile systems, close-in weapon system cannons that spit out thousands of rounds per minute, and nearly 5,000 sailors trained to react instantly to threats. What unfolded wasn't a firefight, but a lightning-fast lesson in why a U.S. carrier is the worst possible target on the ocean. Detection and immediate response. It began in the Combat Information Center of the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. The ship's radar picked up two small, fast-moving craft with no AIS signal, an unmistakable sign of trouble in those waters. Contacts bearing 085 closing fast, an operator called out. Within seconds, the order came. Launch Seahawk. An MH-60R Seahawk helicopter spun up on the deck, rotors slicing the air, its door gunner ready, sensors primed. In less than 2 minutes, it was airborne and racing toward the unidentified craft. Meanwhile, flight deck crews barely paused their routine. Red shirts checked weapon loads, green shirts waved clearance, yellow shirts directed aircraft movements, business as usual. Because on a carrier, there's no such thing as unprepared. The pirates, however, still thought they were chasing a defenseless freighter. The pirates pushed too far. At first, one skiff split off, a common tactic meant to divide attention. The other kept charging straight at the Eisenhower. From the air, the Seahawk pilot confirmed what the Navy suspected. Armed men, one of them shouldering a rocket-propelled grenade. That was all the justification needed. The carrier's captain stayed calm. From the nearby destroyer, USS Gravely, rigid hull inflatable boats loaded with heavily armed visit, board, search, and seizure teams hit the water. These weren't diplomats. They were essentially SWAT units trained for lightning raids at sea. Overhead, the Seahawk dropped altitude. The door gunner swung an M240 machine gun into position and fired a warning burst across the pirate skiff's bow. The message couldn't have been clearer. Turn around or be destroyed. Still, the skiff kept coming. Encirclement and capture. By then, it was already too late. Two RHIBs boxed in the skiff, one cutting off its flank, the other sealing its retreat. Through loudspeakers, the Navy barked orders. Lay down your weapons. Hands up. Now confusion spread on board the pirate boat. Some froze, some dropped their rifles overboard. The few who hesitated didn't get much time to reconsider. Within seconds, the pirates were disarmed, zip-tied, and sprawled across the deck of a Navy RHIB. Their skiff was towed, their weapons confiscated. The Eisenhower never slowed down, never broke formation, never paused its flight operations. To the crew, this was a minor disruption. To the pirates, it was the realization they had just charged headfirst into the jaws of a war machine. The one that tried to get away, the second skiff, the one that had broken off, fared no better. 6 miles out, a Navy drone spotted it idling beside a suspiciously pristine fishing vessel. Within minutes, another RHIB team from the USS Mason intercepted. 2 more pirates were detained and a laptop was seized, a small piece of tech that could unravel much larger networks. For the pirates, the night ended in shackles. For the Navy, it was the start of something bigger. More than a skirmish. Neutralizing pirates is only step 1. The U.S. Navy treats every encounter as an intelligence harvest. The captured RPGs, sat phones, and even fuel cans were logged, scanned, and analyzed. Radio chatter recorded during the pursuit was cross-referenced with smuggling routes and known arms flows from Eritrea. What looked like a random pirate attack began to resemble something deeper, a test, a probe, or a piece of a broader network. Within hours, data from the engagement was sent up the chain to United States Central Command, United States Africa Command, and coalition partners. In naval strategy, even a ragtag pirate skiff is never dismissed as just pirates. It could be cover for weapons smuggling, human trafficking, or even reconnaissance for larger state-sponsored threats. That's why every shred of information is treated like gold. Why a carrier is untouchable. A U.S. aircraft carrier is untouchable because it never sails alone. It is always the centerpiece of a carrier strike group that includes destroyers, cruisers, submarines, supply ships, and constant aerial surveillance. The carrier itself is a 100,000-ton nuclear-powered fortress capable of launching fully armed fighter jets every 25 to 30 seconds. Its layered defenses range from the close-in weapon system, Gatling-style guns that fire 4,500 rounds per minute, to evolved Sea Sparrow missiles designed to intercept aircraft and missiles at high speed. Supporting aircraft like MH-60R Seahawks patrol for surface threats, EA-18G Growlers conduct electronic warfare, and E-2D Hawkeyes provide long-range detection of potential dangers. In essence, a carrier cannot be snuck up on or surprised. If an adversary gets close, it's only because the Navy chooses to let them. The silent message. By sunrise, the Eisenhower's operations hadn't missed a beat. FA-18 Super Hornets thundered off the deck. Flight ops continued, coffee brewed. To the casual eye, nothing had happened. But beneath that calm routine, a ripple of consequences was spreading. Smuggler radio chatter in the region went quiet. Suspicious transmissions vanished. Allied ships were briefed, satellites adjusted, search grids redrawn. What began as a botched pirate ambush had triggered a multi-branch intelligence sweep across the region. The real message wasn't just for the captured pirates, it was for anyone watching, anyone planning, anyone foolish enough to think a U.S. carrier strike group is an easy target. The message was clear: we saw you, we stopped you, we learned from you, and next time, you won't even get close. The bigger picture. The story of the Somali skiffs that mistook a U.S. carrier for a cargo ship isn't just about pirates with bad luck. It's about how the Navy treats even the smallest threats as opportunities to strengthen global security. For the sailors on board, it was a routine intercept. For the pirates, it was a life-altering mistake. For the rest of the world, it was a reminder that the oceans are constantly watched by floating fortresses capable of projecting power across half the globe. And when someone tries to test that power, they quickly learn the same lesson those pirates did. Attacking a U.S. aircraft carrier is like bringing a butter knife to a tank fight, except the tank can fly jets, launch missiles, and command its own fleet. In the end, the pirates didn't just pick the wrong ship, they picked the wrong ocean. So, what do you think? Should the Navy have sunk the skiffs outright, or was capturing the pirates the smarter move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this breakdown of one of the wildest pirate encounters ever, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss our next story from the high seas. Until then, stay sharp, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.